Hey there, YouTube. How's everybody out there doing today? I just had a great big salad for lunch, so I am doing good. I'm energized. I'm going to do this video. I'm going to get out and get a walk and probably do a little bit of exercise after I get back from the walk. But today I wanted to start off the week and I wanted to share my raw vegan formula for you, and it's guaranteed to work. Guaranteed to work. Now, probably some people are skeptical going, well, how can you guarantee it to work? Well, when I get a little further into it, you'll kind of understand, because it's like I kind of outline what I think you should be doing, and then if you follow that in your way, now this isn't like a program where I'm saying, okay, tomorrow you eat this for lunch or breakfast, lunch, dinner, and then you do this the next day, but you'll see after we get going. I believe that people need to transition for a strong foundation. Now, the transition process is going to be different for everybody, so don't try to compare yourself to anybody else. In fact, don't even pay attention to anybody else. This is your formula. Your formula, your plan is going to be very specific for you. And as you come up with this plan, as you make this plan, and as you're executing this plan, move as slow or as fast as you need in your transition. But the big key, and this is like the key to making it all work, you don't move on from one level to the next level until you are very solid at this level. It's just like, it's not going to do any good to get somewhere really fast but not be really solid at it and just kind of keep going back and forth. So what I want you to do, oops, sorry, I kicked my tripod there. What I recommend doing, first of all, to start off, is get out and actually write this down. Write it down physically with your hand. Make yourself an outline. It's sort of a loose plan, if you will, but make yourself an outline. And I say a loose plan, I would actually go as detailed as it works for you. But what you want to do is you want to sit down wherever you are, and also too, I should throw in right here that this is for beginners, and this is for people that have struggled on this lifestyle. Maybe you've struggled several years and you've just never made it work for you. There's no shame in taking a step back, regrouping, starting all over with a better plan, with a better outlook, and moving forward with that, than just kind of keep trying to do the same old thing over and over and over that hasn't worked for you. Or you can follow somebody else and do what most of the raw community does and just go do another juice fast, man. That'll correct it, and then you'll come back and you'll be able to eat right this time, although you haven't for the last 50 times you did that. So have a plan for your transition. Sit down, write out an outline. Now, some of this outline, I'm not saying that you have to spend any specific time on it. Even you might make up an outline that's got a bunch of different things, and you're on one level, and it's just so easy that it's like, you're like, okay, I'm solid at that. But just make sure you're solid and don't cheat yourself out. One thing I hear all the time, and the word in and of itself is not bad, but I kind of almost take it as a crutch, as a pacifier, as like an excuse. Everybody talks to me over these last years that I've done this channel, baby steps. Well, I'm taking baby steps. Well, I'm going to tell you something. Baby steps to me mostly is code for it ain't ever going to happen. I don't know too many people that use the word baby steps that have ever actually taken all those little baby steps to get to where they're going. They're always taking baby steps. 3 years later, they're taking baby steps. So, whereas I say don't move too fast for yourself, also be realistic and don't just get mired down. I mean, always be moving forward. Always be moving forward. Personally, for anybody that haven't watched my videos before or don't know a little bit about my story, I didn't do a transition per se, but I sort of did a transition without knowing I was doing a transition, and I've been able to take things from that I think that I can share with others and help others doing this. By the time that I learned about a raw vegan lifestyle, the vegan lifestyle, whole food, plant-based lifestyle, and just anything. It all happened like in one weekend. I watched a bunch of videos, saw a bunch of information, did a lot of Googling myself. But the thing is I was already on my journey. I had started about, I don't know, 4 or 5 6 months prior to becoming vegan, becoming high raw vegan, I had set myself on a health journey, and I was exploring, I was researching, I was constantly doing things. And my natural inclination, anytime I got on a health kick, I didn't even realize this until I did go vegan, but my natural inclination was I would always cut more and more back on the animal products. So over the course of that 6 months, by the time I came, by the time I decided, hey, I'm going to do a raw vegan lifestyle, or this makes a lot of sense to me, I had cut back to the point where I was maybe having meat 3 times a week. I didn't drink milk. I had cheese. I had eggs on a fairly regular basis. But I had cut back enough to where that very day, that weekend, I went vegan like that. And I will say that I've said this before, and I'll say it again. The transition going through, getting, like, especially if you're coming from a standard American diet, going from standard American diet to raw is a little bit more challenging, a little bit more difficult, going to take you a little bit more time. But to go vegan overnight, to go plant-based overnight, I'm telling you, and I'm not exaggerating there, that would not be that hard. Like I mentioned in a lot of videos, the first step would just be becoming vegan, becoming plant-based, but not even worrying about the whole food plant-based, or not even really getting too deep into the nutrition. Just being vegan, just cutting out all the animal products. So that is goal number one, is getting to that point where you've cut out all the animal products. Once you've gotten to a goal where you're fully vegan, fully plant-based, then you need to work towards eating whole food plant-based. And I would say in that period of the transition, it's more important whole foods than it is the rawness. Now you can include, if you're okay with it, you can include, I'm not telling you not to include any raw meals. I would say from day one, from the second you hear this, include some raw meals, include a raw breakfast. But if it's tough for you, I don't want you to do everything you can, just eat as much raw as possible, and then you spin out and you eat something really bad. Once you've been vegan for a little while, I want you to do the whole food plant-based. If you're eating, and hey, listen, a lot of people eat a whole food plant-based diet, they never go raw. They never go fully raw. So this information is just use as you see fit. You can go to being 100% raw, you can go to 70% raw, you can go to 50% raw, whatever. But as you're going through the whole food plant-based stage, eat real foods and eat foods that are nutritious for you, and start laying the groundwork for your raw vegan diet. The greens, I can't preach enough about the greens. I try to always get as many greens as I can in my diet. So everybody, I'm sure everybody out there, no matter where you are, you've eaten a salad at some point. So if you're eating cooked food, include a salad with your cooked food, whatever time of day or whatever meal or however you construct your eating, whether you eat in meals or just eat. Eat cooked greens. The other cooked food, though, all the cooked food you're eating when you're in this whole food plant-based phase, start getting in the mentality of nutrition. In other words, like, I'm not looking my nose down on rice, but not a lot of nutrition in rice. So why don't you eat some quinoa? Have legumes, have beans, have sweet potatoes, have fresh vegetables. We're coming up on the summer here in the South. There's going to be lots of corn around. There's going to be lots of tomatoes. So obviously tomatoes will be raw. Lots of good fruit around. But focus on that whole food plant-based. And then you can just start, like I say, it's just progression. Everything can be done. You can basically do anything if you do it in progressions and just do little by little. If you really do take those baby steps and you're not just using that as a crutch, and you're actually taking a step, not just, you're actually taking a step every day, you get a little bit closer. You start off, you're eating one raw meal a day. Maybe you set yourself a time frame. You're like, okay, today I eat one meal a day that's raw. Now I find for most people, when they're starting out or when they're just coming to raw, it's probably going to be breakfast. Breakfast is the easy one. You can have cut up fruit. Eat you some fruit. Eat a fruit bowl. Eat one fruit. Eat mono fruit. Eat ice cream for breakfast made out of bananas. I've got videos on this channel how to do it. Have a fruit smoothie for breakfast. But there's just so many options. It's easy. Get to lunch. But then you see what I'm getting at. You go bit by bit. You go one meal a day is raw, then you go 2 meals a day, and then you go 3 meals a day. But the whole point being is the progression. Like I say, how that outline, how the plan looks is going to depend on you, because your plan is going to be totally different than Joe's plan or Mary's plan or whoever, because it's going to be based on, you know, your circumstances, who you are, your schedule, who you're living with, all those kind of things. But it's about, like I say, having a process to getting there. There's no magic trick. If you just kind of keep doing the same thing you keep doing and just hoping, oh, I'm in 4, 5, 6, 8, 10, 15 groups, and I'm just, you know, watching all the videos, doing this and that. You have to be an active participant. There's nobody out there. There's none of these raw food people that have a program that's going to magically make it easier. You've just got to kind of do it yourself. And like I say, I just kind of want to push, guide, give you a little bit of direction what I think will work for you. I'm more into the psychological aspect of this thing than anything else. It's just never going to work for you. Think about that. Like that, nobody likes to be told what to do, exactly what to do, and it's just not feasible for somebody else to say, okay, here's your plan. Okay, I've written it out. Bam, there you go. You follow that to the letter. It's just not as effective as when you kind of work through it and figure out how to make the process work for yourself. And that can be done in everything. And I'll be honest with you, just so I don't sound like I'm some great man. I'm so much smarter than everybody else. This has worked for me in the food. The food I can do. You know, I eat well all the time. Doesn't work for me in other areas of life. I have those glitches in my head, just like some people do with the food. But I will guarantee you, if you set that out and you just seriously stepped, like we're just getting into the summer. Think about it. Yesterday, what's today? The 2nd? Yeah, yesterday was May 1st. Let's go through the summer. May, June, July, and August. That's 4 months. You could start right now. And do you know how far you could get in 4 months if you really put in the effort and thought about it and had yourself a plan? You make yourself a plan today. You make yourself an outline, and you just check it off. You check it off. But be sure, like I say, if you've got to stay somewhere just a little bit. I did this when I was doing that convict conditioning workout that time, where you didn't go from one level to the next until you were able to prove you were solid. So before you move on, just make sure you're solid. And if you're on one thing too long, ask yourself why you're staying in this one zone too long, and how you can move yourself a little bit further. So anyhow, hope that might help a few people out there. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you here again on Wednesday. Peace.